All eyes were on the VFL team as we took Essendon to the Cleaners on Saturday night. Let's talk about it. So this was a big VFL game for a couple of reasons. Now, one of the reasons being, it's always a big game, Collingwood and Essendon after the AFL team just played. There was 13 AFL listed players playing in this game for us. And the biggest one was because of Dan McStay. So what's going to happen with Dan McStay? Who's going to replace him? Is it going to be Cox? Is it going to be Charlie West? So there were all eyes on this game. Now, if you look at it on paper, Essendon just cleaned us up in disposals, clearances, hitouts. All of the most important stats, if you look at that, you go, Essendon won this game by, 30-something points. Collingwood were just so clinical at times, especially so efficient going inside the forward 50, running off half-back, that transition that the AFL team have. Obviously the VFL team have it as well because we're one club and that's how we're playing. So it was at times very scrappy, very, very scrappy. But that first quarter had 10 goals kicked. I think we kicked 6 and they kicked 4 goals. And it was actually really good football to watch. You can tell that some of the skills and stuff weren't up to scratch. It looked like it was very like a wet ball. So I don't know if it was raining, but it must have been sort of wet and dewy with the ground and stuff like that. But it was really high scoring at the start, slowed down a little bit. But there were snippets of, what could sort of happen in the AFL team and who really, really impressed in the VFL team as well. So we'll start with the VFL list of players. Sam Glover, the captain, incredible, 25 disposals, 6 tackles. He was everywhere in that back line, just holding us up, leading by example. Tom Wilson kicked 2 goals. Harry Mahoney kicked 2 nice goals. Josh Brown. Now, Josh Brown, as you all are well aware, was that guy that played in the Gold Coast simulation game, and everyone was like, who's this kid? Who's this kid? Is he on our list? What's going on with him? Because he smashed it there, and he's had a really good season. And he is, what did he kick? He kicked 2 goals, 23 disposals, 2 tackles, 2 clearances. So he was everywhere. He's quick. He's smart with the ball as well. I don't know if there's any sort of talk of him being picked up in the mid-season draft by any of the clubs, not just Collingwood. There is talks of Mason being picked up. He kicked 1 goal, was presenting a little bit, but Charlie West sort of took the brunt of the big guy in the middle. In the forward line. So look, all of our VFL players I think played pretty well. Now, AFL listed players. We'll start from the back line and move our way up. Not going to name everyone, just the guys who impressed me. TJ. Well, TJ, I've sort of had eyes on him since preseason, seeing what he can do. He has gotten a little bit bigger. The only knock that I had on him was his disposal efficiency. So of TJ's 15 disposals, 9 of those were contested. He had 4 inside 50s, 3 score involvements, went at 80%. So his disposal is getting better, but what I loved was just his run and carry off that half-back line. And we've known for a long time that if you're to play in a Collingwood side as a half-back flanker, you need to be able to run and carry and use the ball efficiently. TJ is absolutely doing that. And it kind of goes hand in hand. This is a little bit of a tangent because I was listening to Isaac Quaynor on SEM and he was saying, I kind of want to dabble in the middle a little bit. I did some work in the centre with the VFL guys last week, and I wouldn't mind being, trialing that out. Maybe further on in my career, if opportunity happens. Could TJ take Isaac's spot in the half-back line and Isaac move onto as a midfielder? We know he's a big body, Isaac, and we know he can run and gun. What does he look like in the midfield? We haven't really seen any of that, really. I don't know. That could be something. Craig McRae and the coaches like chameleon players, so we could add a string to Isaac Bowe and get TJ into the side because I think TJ was this was probably one of his best games that I've seen him play. Will Parker as well did a lot of good things. Kicked a goal from about 55-ish meters out. That was assisted by TJ. So I like what Will Parker is doing. Thought Cochrane did all right. He got a couple of intercept possessions. Yeah, about 4 intercept possessions. And went at about 85% disposal efficiency. He's that guy that's going to take Jeremy Howe's spot eventually, I feel. I love everything that Cochrane's doing. In the middle, Oscar Steen had probably his best game for the club. Harry Di Matteo, I reckon, had his best game for the club as well. Oscar Steen, just everywhere in the middle. I think he bobbed up for a goal or two as well. 13 contested possessions. Harry Di Matteo had 11. Oscar Steen had the most tackles and the most clearances on the ground. Harry Di Matteo had a bunch of tackles and some clearances as well. So they worked really well in tandem. But I know why you guys are here. You want to know how Mason Cox did. You want to know how Charlie West did. Sit back. Let me give you my observations and thoughts and, what could happen. So we'll start with Charlie West. Now, Charlie West plays like I don't want to say like an old school forward, like a cherry picking forward. He does get up the forward line a little bit, but he's not that ruck forward, right? Let's just say he's an out and out forward like a Tim Membry or someone that's just got to plonk in that forward line. And that's their one wood. So maybe like a Logan Morris from Brisbane. I think I've used that comparison before. He kicked 3 goals, could have had 4 or 5. He got he should have been awarded a mark, should have been awarded a free kick as well, right in front of goals, and he didn't get him. Could kick 4 or 5, ended up with 3 goals, gave away 3 free kicks, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. Clinical in front of goals, presenting really well, marking really, really well. He is definitely on track for a debut really soon. I can feel it. He's on track for a debut really soon. Will it be against Geelong? We'll have to wait and see what the Pies want to do. But Mason Cox. Now, Mason Cox, forward ruck. For 3 quarters, I felt, and I always have to preface this, I love Coxie. I love what he does. I love how he goes about it. He's just been a great servant of the club, and I want him to succeed, especially with Dan McStay out. I think Coxie will play, but for 3 quarters, he did a couple of things. Was doing really well on the ruck. He's a great tap ruckman, right? We know that. He's a great tap ruckman. He did go missing a lot. He was getting out-bodied a lot by these young Essendon defenders, which is a little bit weird when you're that tall and you have that much experience. In the last quarter, though, to Coxie's credit, he just kept fighting. Kicked 2 goals in the last... maybe not 2 goals in the last quarter. 1 goal in the third quarter, 1 goal in the last quarter. But in that last quarter, he was everywhere. He was doing a lot of really good things. And I think he had about 4 or 5 clearances, 19 hitouts, 11 disposals. Only 1 tackle, though, but it's fair enough. He's not going to really tackle too much. He was caught a lot, a couple of times with the ball. But in that last quarter, like I said, he just really fought hard to get himself into the game. And he did a lot of really nice things, right? Now, the big question is, do they go with a forward ruck? So you've got 2 ruckmen because Dan McStay was taking the ruck with Darcy Cameron. Or do you go with someone like Charlie West and then have, if Darcy Moore comes back, have Billy Frampton chopping out? Because remember, I don't know if it was last year or the year before in 2023 where Cameron and Cox both went down and we had Phillip McStay and Ash Johnson rucking. So we know that Frampton can do the ruck if he needs to. So is that something they look at? But I'll talk about that in a later video. So that's what the VFL looked like. There was a couple of other guys like Will Hayes didn't really do as much as he did last week. Oleg Markov kicked a nice goal. Jacob Ryan had 11 disposals, could have been a little bit better. Iluru Smith actually was an interesting one. Looks like they're trialing him down back, like as a halfback, or not really a fullback, just as a tall halfback. And I kind of really like that. I think this might have been his first foray with in a competitive game. I know he's been trialled there during training and matched him and stuff, but a competitive game. Gave away a couple of free kicks, gave away a couple of goals. If you look at the stats sheet, he had -1 on fantasy points, 2 disposals, didn't really do much to move the needle. I don't even think he took a mark, to be honest. 1 intercept possession. So I don't know if they're looking at that as a permanent thing. So that's going to be really interesting to see his progress, if he looks like, he's going to be a ruck back or just an actual, just a halfback, fullback, because we need that height down there. I remember Guy from training. He's been saying this for months that he reckons that Iluru Smith would make a good centre half back. So it looks like he's getting his wish, and we'll just see how Smitty progresses. But that's my VFL review. Let me know your thoughts down below if you watched the match. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your best, and until next time, double checkers. I'll see you later.